You know that feeling, right? The one where you wake up in the morning and the world feels solid. The floor under your feet is firm. You look at the faces of your children and you see pieces of yourself, pieces of your history, your future, all tied up in their smiles. That was my life. I had built it, brick by brick. A comfortable home. 3 beautiful kids. A wife I'd loved since I was practically a kid myself. Sarah. We met in college. I thought I knew every contour of her heart, every secret in her eyes. I was wrong. So terribly, catastrophically wrong. And what I discovered didn't just shatter my heart, it erased my entire reality. This isn't just a story about infidelity. This is a story about a theft so profound it's hard to even put into words. They took my past, my present, and the future I thought I was building. And I'm about to tell you exactly what I did when I found out that none of the children I called my own were mine. It started with a joke. A stupid, offhand comment at a family barbecue. My brother-in-law, always a bit of a clown, ruffled my youngest daughter's hair and said, "Where'd you get that red tint, kiddo?" "Not from your dad, that's for sure." Everyone chuckled. I forced a smile. Sarah's laugh sounded a little too high, a little too sharp. She quickly changed the subject. But the seed was planted. I'd never really thought about it before. My hair is dark brown. Sarah's is blonde. Our 2 older boys had her fair coloring. But my little girl, she had these fiery copper strands that caught the light. I pushed it down. Genetics are weird, right? Throwbacks happen. But the doubt, once it takes root, is a vicious vine. It grows in the quiet moments. Tucking the boys in, I'd search their sleeping faces, looking for my father's strong jaw, my mother's gentle brow. I'd stare at my own reflection, then at school photos on the wall. The similarities I'd always taken for granted started to look like wishful thinking. The shape of the eyes. The curve of an ear. It was all just slightly off. A haunting, uncanny valley version of fatherhood. I became a ghost in my own home, watching my family from a distance, a chilling suspicion freezing me from the inside out. I decided I had to know. For my own sanity. I ordered a DNA testing kit online. The kind people use for fun, to find their ancestry. When it arrived, the box felt like it weighed 100 pounds. I collected the samples in a state of numb detachment. A quick swab from each of the boys, a hair from my daughter's hairbrush when she was asleep. My own. I mailed them off, telling myself I was being ridiculous, that I'd get the results back and have a good laugh at my own paranoia. The wait was its own special kind of torture. 2 weeks of looking at Sarah across the dinner table, her hands sometimes reaching for mine, her smile still the same. Was it always a mask? Had our entire life together been a meticulously staged play? The email notification arrived on a Tuesday afternoon. I was at work. My hands went completely cold. I clicked it open. The screen blurred. There were the results, in stark, clinical language. Probability of paternity, 0%. For my oldest son. I felt the room tilt. I clicked the next report. 0%. For my second son. My breath was coming in short, ragged gasps. The third report. My daughter. 0%. 3 zeros. 3 life sentences. In that instant, 17 years of my life, the bedtime stories, the skinned knees, the teaching to ride a bike, the Father's Day cards, the overwhelming, all-consuming love, was vaporized. It wasn't just that she had cheated. It was that she had built my entire identity as a father on a lie. Every sacrifice, every moment of joy, every worry, it had all been built on sand. I wasn't a father. I was a stranger, a bank account, a convenient stand-in. I didn't confront her that night. I went home, moving through our house like a sleepwalker. I watched her help the kids with homework. I heard my daughter call me daddy. The word felt like a physical blow. I saw Sarah smile at me, and for the first time, I didn't see love. I saw a master manipulator, a woman who had looked me in the eye 1,000 times while holding this monstrous secret. The sheer scale of the deception was breathtaking. It wasn't one mistake, one affair. It was a sustained, ongoing betrayal that spanned the birth of 3 children. She had allowed me to sign 3 birth certificates. She had let me give them my name. This wasn't just a broken heart. This was paternity fraud. I went to a lawyer the next day, my world still in silent, crumbling ruins. I explained it, my voice flat and dead. He listened, his expression growing graver by the minute. He confirmed what I was beginning to understand. This was beyond divorce. This was a case of misattributed paternity, a profound legal and personal wrong. I wasn't just filing for divorce on grounds of adultery. I was suing her. For paternity fraud. For the years of financial support under false pretenses. For the intentional infliction of emotional distress. We were going to dismantle, in a court of law, the life she had fabricated. The day I served her the papers was the day the mask finally fell. I had moved out, staying in a sterile, empty apartment. The process server found her at home. Her call came through, not with tears of remorse, but with shrieks of rage. How could you do this to me? To us? They love you. You're their father. The audacity was stunning. She wasn't sorry for what she'd done. She was furious she'd been caught. Her defense, when her own lawyer finally got her to construct one, was pathetic. She claimed she had no idea. She tried to say maybe the tests were wrong. We demanded a court-ordered test. She refused, then was compelled. The results were entered into evidence. The same 3 zeros. A silence so heavy it sucked the air out of the courtroom fell when the judge read them. My case wasn't just about the money, though the sheer amount I paid in child support, health insurance, braces, soccer camps, everything, was staggering. It was about principle. It was about setting a precedent that this kind of theft has consequences. Her lawyer painted me as vindictive, as a man trying to abandon his children. But they weren't my children. That was the entire, devastating point. My lawyer presented the timeline, the proof of her affairs we'd discovered, the calculated lie that was my life. He spoke of the fundamental theft of my right to choose my own path, to have children who were my own, or to choose to love these children knowing the full truth from the beginning. She stole that choice from me. The judgment, when it came, was a seismic shift. The divorce was granted, obviously. But more than that, the court found in my favor on the civil claim for paternity fraud. I was awarded a significant portion of the child support I had paid back, a sum that reflected the financial deceit. The emotional damages were harder to quantify, but the recognition was there, in the legal language, a cold acknowledgement of the psychological annihilation I'd endured. Legally, I was released from all future child support obligations. The parental rights I had never biologically had were formally severed. I walked out of that courtroom a free man in the eyes of the law, but carrying a hollowed-out void where my family used to be. I don't see them anymore. The boys, the little girl, they live with their mother. I heard through the fragile remains of the gossip chain that she told them I chose to leave, that I didn't want them. The final, cruel twist of the knife. They probably hate me. And in a way, the man they think I am, the man who abandoned them, deserves their hate. But the real me, the man who loved them with every fiber of his being, is just gone. Erased by her lies. So what's left? A quiet apartment. A bank account that's a little fuller, but a soul that's bankrupt. A profound, unsettling freedom. And a lesson, written in the scars on my heart, that the most dangerous prison isn't made of bars. It's built from the loving lies of someone who was supposed to be your home. They can take your money, your time, your youth. But when they take your truth, they leave you wandering in a world that no longer makes any sense at all. And that is a sentence you serve every single day, in the crushing, endless silence.